The Unlikely Piece. A Tale of Wolf and Sheep. And now, attention. A riddle. I'm a skilled hunter with keen senses. My howl echoes through forest fences when I communicate with my pack at night. How far can my voice travel in flight? Is it up to 1 mile? Or it's up to 6 miles? Or all up to 10 miles? You will find out the correct answer at the end of the story. In a lush green valley nestled between 2 towering mountains, there lived a flock of fluffy white sheep and a pack of gray wolves. For as long as anyone could remember, the wolves had hunted the sheep, and the sheep had lived in constant fear of the wolves. This was just the way things had always been. One particularly clever sheep named Woolbert often wondered if there might be a better way for everyone to live. He would spend hours gazing at the stars, imagining a world where sheep and wolves could coexist peacefully. Meanwhile, among the wolf pack, there was a young wolf named Luna. Unlike her fellow wolves, Luna didn't enjoy the thrill of the chase or the taste of mutton. She preferred to spend her time exploring the forest and observing the other animals. One day, as Woolbert was grazing near the edge of the forest, he heard a rustling in the bushes. His heart began to race, thinking it must be a wolf preparing to attack. But to his surprise, out stepped Luna, looking just as startled as he was. "Please don't run," Luna called out as Woolbert prepared to flee. "I won't hurt you. I won't hurt you. I just want to talk." Woolbert hesitated, his curiosity overcoming his fear. "Talk, but you're a wolf. Wolves don't talk to sheep, they eat them." Luna sat down, trying to appear as non-threatening as possible. "I'm not like other wolves. I don't want to hunt sheep. I think it's wrong." Woolbert's eyes widened in disbelief. "You do? But why?" "Because," Luna explained, "I believe all animals have the right to live in peace. We're not so different, you and I. We both have families we care about. We both enjoy the beauty of this valley. Why should we be enemies?" Woolbert couldn't believe what he was hearing. It was as if his dreams of peace were coming true right before his eyes. "I've always thought the same thing," he exclaimed. "But how can we change things? The other wolves will never agree to stop hunting us. Luna's ears drooped, and the other sheep will never trust wolves enough to even listen to us." The 2 unlikely friends sat in silence for a moment, both lost in thought. Suddenly, Woolbert had an idea. What if we could show everyone that wolves and sheep can work together, that we're stronger united than divided? Luna's tail began to wag excitedly. "That's brilliant. But how?" Just then, they heard a loud rumbling sound. The ground beneath their feet began to shake. "Earthquake!" Woolbert bleated in panic. As the shaking subsided, they heard cries of distress coming from both the sheep meadow and the wolf den. Without hesitation, Luna and Woolbert raced towards the sounds. They found that the earthquake had caused a rock slide, trapping several sheep and wolves beneath the fallen boulders. The free sheep were too afraid to approach because of the wolves, and the wolves were too busy trying to free their packmates to hunt. Luna and Woolbert looked at each other, knowing this was their chance. They approached the trapped animals together. "Everyone, please listen," Woolbert called out. "We need to work together to save those trapped under the rocks. Wolves are stronger and can move the boulders, while we sheep can use our wool to cushion the injured as we pull them out." The other animals stared in shock at the sight of a sheep and wolf standing side by side, but the cries of their trapped friends spurred them into action. Cautiously at first, then with growing confidence, the wolves and sheep began to work together. The strongest wolves lifted heavy rocks, while the sheep created soft landing spots with their wool. They pulled out the trapped animals one by one, checking them for injuries and comforting them. As they worked, something remarkable happened. The wolves and sheep began to talk to each other, sharing their fears and hopes. They realized that they had more in common than they ever imagined. By the time all the animals were rescued, the sun was setting, casting a golden glow over the valley. The wolves and sheep gathered together, exhausted but exhilarated by what they had accomplished. The oldest and wisest wolf, Gray Fang, stepped forward. "Today we have witnessed something extraordinary," he said, his voice gruff with emotion. "We have seen that when we put aside our differences and work together, we can achieve great things." Mother Ewe, the respected leader of the sheep flock, nodded in agreement. "For too long we have lived in fear of each other. But today we have seen the true strength that comes from unity." Luna and Woolbert stepped forward, emboldened by the day's events. "We have a proposal," Luna said. "What if we wolves used our strength to protect the sheep from other predators, in exchange for some of the sheep's wool to keep us warm in winter?" And Woolbert added, "The sheep could help the wolves find food by showing them the best berry bushes and fish-filled streams we know of." The animals murmured amongst themselves, considering this radical idea. Finally, Gray Fang spoke again. "It will not be easy to change the ways we have known for so long. But if we are willing to try, to listen to each other and work together, we may create a better life for all of us." Mother Ewe nodded solemnly. "We accept this proposal. Let us create a new way of living, one based on mutual respect and cooperation." And so, from that day forward, the wolves and sheep of the valley began to live in harmony. It wasn't always easy. Old habits and fears sometimes resurfaced, and there were misunderstandings and disagreements. But whenever conflicts arose, they remembered the day of the earthquake and how they had overcome their differences to help each other. Luna and Woolbert became the bridge between the two groups, helping to solve problems and foster understanding. They taught the young wolves and lambs to play together, sharing games that developed trust and teamwork. As the seasons passed, the valley flourished. The wolves' protection allowed the sheep to graze more freely, and their flock grew. The wolves, no longer expending energy on hunting, became healthier and their pack increased in size. Together, they kept the valley safe from outside threats and shared in its abundance. Other animals in the forest noticed the change and were amazed. Word spread far and wide about the valley where wolves and sheep lived in peace. Many came to see for themselves, and some stayed, drawn by the spirit of cooperation and harmony. Years later, Luna and Woolbert, now respected elders, sat together on a hill overlooking the valley. They watched as wolf pups and lambs played chase in the meadow below, their laughter echoing across the land. "Did you ever imagine it could be like this?" Woolbert asked, his voice filled with wonder. Luna shook her head, smiling. "Never. But I'm so glad we dared to try." As the sun set on another peaceful day in the valley, Luna and Woolbert knew that their legacy would live on. They had shown that even the oldest of enemies could become the best of friends, and that with understanding, compassion, and a willingness to work together, any conflict could be resolved. And so, the unlikely tale of the wolf and the sheep became a legend, passed down through generations as a reminder that peace is always possible, if only we have the courage to take the first step towards understanding one another. The end. And now the correct answer to the riddle. The correct answer is up to 6 miles. Wolf howls are indeed fascinating. Here are some interesting facts about wolf howls. Long-distance communication: a wolf's howl can be heard up to 6 miles away in forested areas and up to 10 miles in open tundra. This allows wolves to communicate with pack members over vast distances. Unique voices: each wolf has a distinct howl, like a voice fingerprint. Pack members can recognize each other's individual howls. Group howling: when wolves howl together, they deliberately change their tones to create the illusion of a larger pack. This is called chorus howling and can intimidate rivals or other predators. Various purposes: wolves howl for many reasons, including assembling the pack before and after hunts, signaling their location to lost pack members, warning other packs to stay away from their territory, during mating season to attract potential mates. Howling etiquette in a pack: usually only the alpha pair leaders will respond to howls from outside the pack. Other members generally remain quiet unless given permission to join in. Howl timing: wolves tend to howl more frequently at dawn and dusk, which coincides with their most active hunting times. Emotional expressions: some researchers believe that wolves also howl to express emotions like anxiety, loneliness, or joy. This incredible vocalization ability plays a crucial role in wolf social behavior and survival, allowing these intelligent animals to maintain complex pack dynamics across large territories.